Planetology, what they call planetology, which we call geology here, is when you talk about energy, they would teach us the cycles of the Earth. How oil is created, petroleum is created, fossil fuels are created, and essentially what those cycles are. So that if we decided to stay with those, we would be able to rotate between fossil fuels, natural gas, solar, etc. So there would not be any disharmony. We would not overuse the Earth's resources in any way, shape, or form. But we don't know those sciences. All we do is we find it, we pump it out of the hole, we fill it full of seawater, and then we move on. Okay? Wrong answer. Okay? Electricity. We have electric cars. There is technology that already exists that can be improved. They literally do not have to give us anything else at the moment except ideas that we can create. Their thoughts were, why aren't all the major cities inside the cities using electric vehicles? Because you're traveling short distances inside major cities. Why not use electric there? And then use petroleum on the outside for longer distance and for shipping, things like that, at least to start. They have so many suggestions that we could use right off the bat. The biggest change, the biggest mentoring would be in health. They have a camera, a holographic camera. And it was interesting, Mr. Mellon Thomas made reference to this last night in his talk. They have this camera, and I've talked about this in the past, where they take a picture of you, and it's a holographic camera. It's you from inception to now, physical. They can take this slide out, this holographic slide, and they can look at your body in sequences, and they can pull areas where your body was the strongest, whether it be liver, kidneys, bone structure, nervous system, brain waves, it could be anything. And what they do is wherever your body was the strongest, they will pull that slide out. They will put it back in the camera, and they will reinvigorate, reheal your body with your own imprint. And apparently, we have the ability to create such a thing. All the components are spread out, they're not pulled together yet. But we can do that. Okay? And we're talking about healing without surgeries. That's not to say that there won't be times where there may not be an immediate surgery. I don't know that. Politics. The mentoringship of politics. They consider politics and religions the same thing. Okay? And this is the area where they're very reserved regarding us. And the reason for that is, how will we know? No, let me rephrase that. Can we, will we, let go of traditions and dogma to embrace something we don't know? I'll give you an example. A Bill of Rights, individual liberties. It took thousands and thousands and thousands of years to get to a place where humanity, on a subconscious level, was so done with monarchies, tyrants, kings, and princes that we decided collectively to create individual liberties. And it manifested physically in the creation of the United States. Here we are 232 years later, and we're about to lose those liberties that took thousands and thousands of years to create, to manifest, for all of humanity. Okay? Now, what's interesting is that the rest of the world, they're stunned that Americans could be this stupid. In fact, in traveling in Europe, I had the occasion to see some Swiss students get arrested. And one of the things that they said to the cops were, you got to read me my Miranda rights. Because they were watching American television. And the Swiss police said, you don't have any rights. Okay? Now, I bring this up only because this is an issue. This is an issue of freedom. And this is important in the grand scheme of things. If you protect your freedoms, you are stating to everyone, including yourself, I am responsible. And that is the number one priority to taking the next step forward into advanced maturity in meeting face-to-face with benevolent extraterrestrial races. They are not going to babysit. It never works. It's not their job. Their job is to give us a start, because we have been so manipulated for so long. It would seem like forever. And we haven't even been aware of it. But the people are waking up. People are beginning to become aware of it. But we have to protect our freedoms. Okay? The world, Earth, was never meant to be a slave colony, a slave planet. That was not the intent at all. And we should never put up with it or tolerate it in any way, shape, or form. Okay? We need to tell them to kiss our ass. So that's the big concern. Will we make that leap? Will we let go of having to be right in order to know what the truth is? I've had that very question put up to me, said directly to me. Can we also truly learn to forgive? Because everybody's had a role to play here. Okay? We've all had a role to play in creating this scenario, this game. Now, this whole thing about advanced maturity, this whole thing about extraterrestrial life, this whole thing about a resurgence of spirituality, this whole thing about relearning Mother Earth and living in harmony, and finally, giving the indigenous cultures their due and their acknowledgement, because they were right all along. Okay? We were wrong. Civilized, industrial civilizations, they're not in balance. It's not to say they can't be, but what we've created is completely out of balance and has pushed the Earth to her limit. So we have to give them their due. This is all about us. We are the ones calling this forward. We are the ones who have asked for this. We are the ones who are making this change ourselves, within ourselves. We are the ones. This isn't where... nobody else is responsible for this but us. Okay? Apparently, on some level, we have decided this is as far as it goes, whether it's conscious or not, globally, but there's enough of it, enough conscious people who are making these choices to decide that this is as far as it goes the way it is. And it is ending. It is ending. Life, the way we have lived, is going to be changing. Okay? It could happen very quickly. It could happen somewhat gradually. Gradually would be better. But right now, it looks like it's going to be happening quickly. Now, is the world going to end? No, it's not going to end.